Welcome to What You Watchin'. What You Watchin'. What are we doing today?
The terminal list.
The terminal list.
Let's go like this. Wait, I can't do it with one hand.
Yeah. You want to tell everybody before we start what happened?
Empty nesters.
She was on set with alcohol.
The angle. Go to the edge. Wait, the angle. Go to the edge. Oh, wow.
We are back from a wonderful vacation in the Bahamas.
Yes.
Which was wonderful, but it also had more obstacles than any trip we've ever been on.
Yes. It was beautiful. Weather was great. Had a fantastic boat ride. And when we got back, Stephanie decided that she wanted to have snacks for the room. So Steph went into the store, comes out, hits a puddle of water.
Boom.
Literally like sky ground, sky ground,
Out
sky
from
ground.
under me, and I karate chopped a magazine rack
Yeah.
and broke my wrist.
And I was outside because I had been in another store.
What kind of store were you at?
I was getting adult beverages for the snackies that we were going to be eating because we thought that we would need more in the room.
Well, you
than
know
we
what?
did.
You go to these really nice resorts and they're wonderful, but a cocktail's $25.
Yeah.
Breakfast is $50, and I like get some yogurt, granola, some fruit.
Right.
Got a cocktail in the room. Cut back on expenses. So anyway, my $100 snacky trip ended up costing a lot more.
A lot more. We added several zeros. So,
Several zeros to the $100.
but the funny part was, I thought it was funny, but Steph didn't think it was funny.
It's not funny. Get out if you're going to continue to laugh and make fun of me. I'm tired of it. No.
All week, she's like this. And I'm like, is there a question? There's a question in the
You have a
front row.
question.
There's another question. You. Do you have a question, little girl?
I always have a question.
What's your question?
As long as my arm is up, I have a question. Why did I fall down in a grocery store? It hurts. You know, it hurts. But we're very creative, and we had some Glad wrap in the room, and so we taped it all the way up, and so
We'll show
and
you the
then put
picture.
my
It's pretty
arm on a
funny.
raft, and I could bob around in the ocean, because my favorite part of tropical vacations is I never get out of the ocean. My favorite thing
Never.
is to just float in the ocean.
It's floating in the ocean
so-
and going to a local grocery store. Those
Yeah.
are the two favorite things for
We won't
Steph.
tell you what happened in the grocery store because it was pretty bad, but
Yeah, that was bad.
I've fallen and I can't get up.
we still didn't let it ruin our trip.
No?
Just made the best of it, because if you can't enjoy the Bahamas, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
And then the next day, what happened to you?
I got food poisoning. So we're thinking about doing a viewer trip. If you want to come along, we'll make sure and bring the EMTs.
The day before we left, we were talking about trip insurance with my friends. And I
Right.
said,
We always buy trip insurance.
just because it's worth it. But this time we didn't,
Right.
because we knew we weren't going to cancel. We usually buy trip insurance in case you cancel.
See?
No trip insurance.
Obviously, there's another issue going on.
They're following us.
Hello.
Oh my God. He's so old.
He's not that old.
When you break your right hand, ladies, taking your garments off is really a problem. So the day that he was throwing up, I couldn't get my bathing suit off. So I stayed in my bathing suit all day. I slept in my bathing suit.
It was actually pretty funny. We were.
No way of changing my clothes.
It's like, wow, you guys are a fun couple.
Anywho's, we're back.
Yeah. And we also recorded 2 Empty
episodes.
Nesters Unite vlogs.
5 hours later.
All right.
Okay.
Let's talk about the terminal
What are we
list.
watching?
The terminal list.
Okay, so we watched the terminal list
Mm-hmm.
before we left on vacation. And then one of us had a sharp blow to the head, and one of us got dehydrated. So we're not really sure what it's about.
But it's going to be very in-depth. We're going to have an in-depth conversation about the terminal list. So, starring Chris Pratt.
Okay, remember on the way over here? And I said, I need to look something up on my phone.
Did you figure it out?
I just figured it out.
What was it?
One of our watchers recommended the terminal list.
Oh my God.
I know, right? So I'll have to fill it in and tell you who gets an empty nester box.
We'll do it on the next episode. We'll be able to talk about who had won the box from the terminal list.
Okay.
There we go.
So what is a terminal list about?
So Chris Pratt is the executive producer, also with Frenchie Fuqua. What's the guy's name?
I don't know.
Okay. And he basically is playing a Navy...
Antoine
Fuqua, see? I was pretty close. And basically, Chris Pratt is a U.S. Navy SEAL, and he is on a mission. His team runs into a very bad situation, and he happens to be the sole survivor out of this group from his team. And he doesn't quite know if he's actually thinking that something is real or he's actually dreaming it. And it's actually not an uncommon thing for having traumatic brain injury and a lot of other things that these poor guys go through and deal with on a daily basis. So, who wrote the book?
Jack Carr.
Jack Carr was the author of the book, and he
it's
was
a series.
yeah,
It's more than just one.
right. And he was a SEAL,
Well, yeah, he was a SEAL.
wasn't he?
I think so.
Yeah, I think he was.
But the funny thing is it's mixed on whether people like it or not. Like 39% of critics didn't like it. 93% of viewers liked it.
On Rotten Tomatoes.
So, what'd you like about it?
I thought that the action sequences were great. There's this whole fight scene that's really looks good, but kind of not realistic.
So Zeus looks at the technical part of it, and there's so many times that we'll be watching a really good movie, and he'll go,
Did you see that? You see that?
and I'll go, no, and he'll go,
Back it up, back it up, back it up, back it up.
back it up. We're like in the middle of the story, and it's like a car window, and in the reflection of the car window is the cameraman that nobody sees except Zeus sees it in that split second of a minute.
I think it's-
He'll go,
I
look,
thought it was
back it
interesting.
up, back it up. Her hair was in a ponytail on the last one.
That's interesting to me.
Yeah, and for me, the realistic aspect of it. I mean, how many times do I always go?
Oh, that's not
not true.
That doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Which in this movie was all the time. I give it a 3.5 only because of the whatever value. But I'd like to give it a 4 because it was very entertaining.
I'm going to give it a 4. I just like to be entertained, and to me, it was entertaining. I thought Chris Pratt was great in it. He's really bulked up.
Yeah, you're right.
All right. Well,
Yeah,
I guess if there's no more questions,
Are we done?
you know what? I think that if it were me, I would watch it again. And with you, I watch everything twice because you usually fall asleep halfway through.
asleep.
So my whole life, I've watched pretty much everything twice. So
At
that
least.
doesn't really,
At least.
yeah, that doesn't really make sense.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
Thank you.
thanks for coming.
Thanks for watching. And we will be back next week with another episode of Watcha.
with one of my favorites. I mean,
Really?
a lot of
Oh,
enthusiasm.
yeah.
A lot of enthusiasm for the next
A
one.
little sneaky.
I'm going to give it a really high score.
All right.
All right.
Thanks.
That was a clue, by the way. That was a clue.
Oh.
Sneaky,
Look
sneaky.
at how she's getting creative. All right. Thank you.